Hello, everyone. Good morning and welcome back to KXAN Live. I'm your anchor, Esmeralda Zamora, and today we have our first warning weather segment with meteorologist Rich Segal. Rich, thanks for joining us. How are you doing?
Doing well. I'm a few days away from going home for Thanksgiving, see my sister and niece and their families, and it'll be a fun time.
Yeah, we love the holiday season. We
Yes,
love
we
the
do.
weather. Everything seems to be going great right now. But we do have a topic of conversation today that
Yes, we
you
do.
have prepared. And what can you tell us about that?
Well, we were waiting for the first signs of cedar to show up, and that happened yesterday. Our pollen sensor on our roof here picked up on a little bit of cedar, and of course, that sent me to look up a little bit about cedar because there are new people here that were not here last year that may pick up on this allergy because some people are fortunate enough to not get it, while other people who have just moved here may start feeling some symptoms. And so with that in mind, I said, is cedar showing up early? Possibly. It normally shows up starting in the middle of next month and lasts for a couple of months, but it peaks in the middle of January. Now, those numbers that you see, 100s, 1000s, 10,000s, those are the counts that we typically see. Let's go from late December into early February, where we're seeing counts in the hundreds, counts in the thousands, counts in the 10,000s. And on those days, people are feeling miserable, those that do suffer from the cedar allergy. Two things. In spite of the fact that we are in a warm weather climate right now, they also survive in cold weather. These are very tolerant of winter's chill. They don't die when you get these temperatures that in some parts of the viewing area will drop to freezing or below. The other thing, and this is also pretty bad too, is that cedar trees are drought tolerant, and given the fact that we have been in a drought for such a long time, it's no wonder that we keep seeing high cedar counts in the wintertime and maybe even in early spring because these trees are drought tolerant. So what will you feel? How will you know that you might have the cedar allergy? Well, number one, you'll get a cough. Sometimes it's nasty, it's hacking. People don't want to be around you when you start doing that hacking cough. Itchy, watery eyes. You're constantly rubbing your eyes to get rid of the itch that is prevalent. Get the runny nose, sneezing, sore throat. These are typical of other allergens that cause people problems, but it seems like these symptoms are exacerbated even more when cedar fever strikes. You can then remedy this in a couple of ways. Over-the-counter antihistamines or nasal steroid sprays, sometimes these will work for some. Others need to go to their doctor, or better, they should go to a board-certified allergist where they may prescribe an antihistamine, a stronger antihistamine, a stronger nasal spray. And then some people need immunotherapy. So what do we mean by that? Immunotherapy is when you take allergy drops or shots. These are designed to put a little bit of cedar pollen into your system to allow you to build up a tolerance to the cedar fever, thus reducing your symptoms. Now, I don't know anybody that's on immunotherapy, and that will be something that I'm going to ask Dr. Amin Murray when I interview him for a segment that will play on our CW Austin morning show Tuesday. And I'm going to ask him about immunotherapy, go a little bit deeper into that. They are designed to reduce your symptoms, but I don't know if they completely get rid of them. And here's the most important part of immunotherapy. It's not just during the cedar season that immunotherapy is a benefit for you. It's suggested that for many people, they take these allergy shots or drops all year because that helps to create the tolerance buildup that is needed to reduce the symptoms that you have during the season. And the last line on this is very important. Talk to an allergist or a doctor. Don't self-diagnose, because when you do that, you can oftentimes make symptoms worse. The other thing, by the way, is that cedar trees are all over the region. Most are in the hill country. There we see more of the mountain cedars, and we see a lot of it up to the north as well. And really what spurred me to write the blog that is still being worked on with the, here we go again. But it is the time for it. And, we may see a few days with it, a few days without it. As we get further into December, however, the numbers start to be more, or the showing up of the cedar pollen should start to be more consistent as we get into the middle of next month. So that's pretty much what we have right now. It's here. It's in low numbers. It's coming in higher numbers, and it may last. Look, I'm telling you, the fact that we have had the warmer than normal temperatures for most of the fall, and we'll have a warmer than normal forecast for December, January, February, and the lack of rain means that we may see this going beyond February and lasting into March. As a matter of fact, I think there have been a couple of years in the nearly 25 years that I have been a meteorologist here in Austin where we have seen some counts into mid to late March and even in early April. They're low, but they're still there. And for some people, it only takes a very little bit to make them feel bad. Sorry, I didn't mean to monopolize this conversation.
No worries. Well, I'm having some technical difficulties with my camera, so I'm going to stick to your camera right now.
All right.
But for those of us just joining us here on our live, we talked about how the cedar season has arrived early. When does the cedar season typically arrive year-round?
About mid-December. Mid-December is usually the time there. It depends on who you talk to. For me, it looks like the middle of next month is when we start seeing a consistent showing up of the cedar in our allergy counts or in our pollen counts. And I'm going to talk to Dr. Mary about that as well. And then it will peak in January. It's like the oak season. The oak season could start in March and April. It peaks in early to mid-April, and then it goes away. But sometimes it lasts a little longer, again, because of the fact that we have the drought. In cedar, not even the cold weather eliminates the cedar counts. It may lower them in number a little bit, but they will still thrive in the cold weather. And we do get a few cold snaps coming during the winter season, but not as many.
Awesome. Well, you are actually working on a blog post right about this cedar pollen and cedar season. But I do want to point out that although that one's not ready yet, it'll be ready by around noonish.
Yes, and there's a blog, by the way, there is a blog that I wrote yesterday about that winter forecast, meteorological winter, that time frame that starts December 1 and ends February 28. Meteorological winter, and actually astronomical winter as well, that starts around December 21st and lasts until March 20th or thereabout, are both predicted to be warmer than normal. And when we have warmer than normal winters, it really disrupts life for insects, for animals, for trees, for allergens. We get an early start to the allergy season, and that's not a good thing. And this is why I have the question mark on the banner there that says, has cedar season arrived early? Now, we did not have a cedar count today here, but there were other parts of central Texas where we did have a few counts today. Some of the other locations that do track the cedar pollen were showing a little cedar that showed up. Our monitor upstairs on our roof for now did not pick up anything today, but that may change before the day is over because we've got some wind gusts in excess of 20 to 25 miles per hour likely during this late morning and on into the afternoon.
Yes, and if you or anyone is interested in catching up on that blog or on the blog that will come out later today, you can visit our website, KXAN.com. Go to the homepage. It'll be easy to find. It'll be right there.
Yes, indeed.
Thanks so much for joining me, Rich.
Thank you, Esme. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving to everyone out there, and we'll see you next Sunday. Thank you.